Hey guys, so today I've got the keys to this Lotus Exige 350 Sport and I'm very excited to get out in it and of course give it a bit of a review. This one is modified, so I've got a bit of a long list here to go through, but let's get started. So the Exige comes with a V6 supercharged Toyota engine, which this model comes with 350 horsepower, which gives you 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds. This one does have the Elias air filter that you can see just in there, and it also has a Moroso baffled sump, which means the oil doesn't get sloshed around as much when it's on track. With the intake kit, it does mean this model on a dyno gets to about 380, but this particular car hasn't been on a dyno, so it's all quite exciting. It gives it that bit of extra grunt as well that we'll see when we take it out. Also see in the boot is part of the suspension, which is the reservoir. So this is the Penske 3-way adjustable coilovers, which I'll show you a little bit more on side, but it does make the ride incredibly smooth. So well as the Penske suspension, it also benefits from the better looking lightweight forged alloys with the Toyo semi-slick tyres ready for track, just to give you that extra grip. And as you've noticed in previous videos, it also has the big brake kit, which means it stops very quickly. And as you can see, that's part of the semi-slicks there. They've not been driven on much, so they're still getting everything sticking to them. And looks wise, it's just stunning. So the grey and black really highlight one another, especially with those red brake calipers. So this one in particular, it has the 380 front access panel sprayed in the matte black to match the roof. And also it has the Hell Slow mirrors, which to be honest, I think are a lovely option, and they just make the car look that bit more classy. Also we have the Elias side skirts, and you'll see when we come round to the back the diffuser extensions as well, which I think just again give that aero that little bit more of an aggressive look. And you'll also notice it has the upgraded LED lights, which look fantastic. So this car does have a couple of weight reduction measures inside, including a radio blanking plate, which looks really smart actually, and also some speaker blanks as well. It also comes with this quick release steering wheel, which I think looks really smart. It's a really good theft deterrent too, because just imagine getting in a car to drive it and it's no steering wheel. So one problem with the quick release steering wheel is it's actually really difficult to get on and off. So it's not nice and easy. So to get off, ow, it hits your finger, and to get back on it takes me about 5 minutes. So looks good, doesn't it? Trying to be a racing driver and I can't get the steering wheel on. Okay, I've done it. So we just have to check it's in properly. Nothing worse than driving along and you're tired and oil comes off. Okay, so this car also has the 4-point harness system and the harness bar in the back there. It does make you really stay in position on track. For day-to-day use, it's a bit of a faff, but they look cool, so it's worth it. So this car does have the exhaust valve, so it can turn it on and off, which is quite nice, because like when you don't want to be disturbing the neighbours, it gives you that option. It's a really nice steering wheel, and I think all cars should have steering wheels like this because it's so comfy, it's the right size, it's not too big, it's brought forward towards you as well, so your arms aren't like fully extended. This car has the open link gear shifter, and one thing I do find is it's a little bit difficult to get into gear sometimes. It's not quite as smooth as the other one. It's not too much an issue, you just have to guide the gears into place, and to be honest, when you get it right, it's very rewarding. But I really have to think about it. A lot of people would say that a Lotus Exige, because it's a track race car as well, it wouldn't be very comfortable. I know you still have the faff of getting in and out, like all Lotus do, but this one in particular is such a joy to drive because you've got that sporty performance and the track ethic of it. But the seats mixed with the steering wheel and the suspension, it just makes it one of the comfortablest cars I've ever driven. And I mean, the seats are really nice and padded, there's all the carpet and soundproofing, so it's not too loud, but you can still hear that nice grunt when you're going for it. And yeah, I love this car. I think this car's fantastic, and this car is just classy yet does the job very well. This is the first time I've driven it with the Toyo semi-slicks, and I have driven it with the road tyres on before, and I'm already noticing there's so much more grip to give. I know the car suffered a little bit of understeer on the track, but I think these tyres are definitely going to help improve that. whether you see it as a positive or negative, this car is very easy to go quickly. You put your foot down and there's so much power to give, especially because it's supercharged. The power is there instantly, so as soon as you put your foot down, there's no waiting for it to kick in. That's what I love about supercharged cars. It's there when you want it to be. I feel like it's much safer because obviously when you're wanting to overtake or anything like that, you put your foot down in a turbo and you're waiting for it to kick in. You're like, and I don't know about you through the microphone, but the sound of that supercharger one is just, it's a heavenly sound. The Penske suspension works wonders. I've driven a completely stock Exige 350 before, and it was all over the place, especially at speeds over kind of 60. It was just bouncing around all over the place. It felt very sketchy, very sort of unhappy on the road, whereas this is very soft, it's very smooth, it feels like it's hooking up well, and it makes it a very comfortable, enjoyable journey while you know that it's doing everything it needs to do. You can hear it sometimes go like shh, because you can hear it all working, and I find that quite fascinating. It's definitely a car you have to grow into because it likes things in a certain way. It doesn't like any oversteer. It kind of kicks back at you a little bit. The pedals are quite difficult with the gearbox. I mean, heel toe, you have to do it in a very specific way. But it's a very, very rewarding car when you do drive it right. And I think that's kind of like a maturity thing. I think the average person won't actually understand everything or just find it difficult. So this is what I mean about the harness. I can't see. And that power is just phenomenal. I love it. Absolutely love it. So by today's standards, 350 horsepower isn't actually a lot. I mean, if you look like at an M4, you're looking at 450 at stock. But because the car only weighs 1.2 tons, its power to weight ratio, and this is just ridiculous, and mixed with like the handling and all that side of things, it just makes it such an awesome car to drive. So like all Lotuses, it has its downsides, and things like getting in and out can be a pain in the backside, literally. Things that it's quite difficult with the no power steering to park, especially because this is a heavier car, and it's not really the most suitable daily. I think if you're doing a lot of miles, even though this one is ridiculously comfortable, I don't think you'd want to be doing all those miles in it. You want it to stay special, and when you don't drive it that often and it's so track focused, it stays that little bit special, and then every time you drive it, it's just a bit more magical. It's like if you didn't eat chocolate for a month and then you ate it like for the first time in ages. It tastes so much better than if you ate it every day. I know that sounds like a really weird analogy, but you kind of get what I mean. The one thing with the Exige is the visibility is quite rubbish. So because you've got the boot bit on the back, you don't just have the plain glass, you can't really see much out there. The mirrors, even though they look fantastic, again, they're kind of like concaved, I think the right word is. So you can't really see a lot out of them. But then again, it is such a small car, you don't really need to see that much. So swings and roundabouts. Because it's got that big 3.5 litre V6, it is incredibly thirsty. So I mean, I've only done maybe like 5-10 miles and it's already gone down half the bar. I mean, I haven't been driving it particularly hard, so imagine what it's like on track. The thing is with Lotus, people are saying that you're missing a little bits of quality, but I feel like I'm in a quality car in this because it's got the carpet and all that sort of side of things. It feels like you're in a really special place because you've got that so much driver focus and track focus setup. It's really just, it's a driver focused car, and it makes you feel that way when you're in it. And obviously when you're driving it, everything's just down to you. The car's only doing so much, whereas compared to a modern day normal hot hatch, they're doing everything for you. The traction control is constantly kicking in and all that side of things, whereas this, you can turn it completely off. You can have it in race where it only comes in with, like, it knows you're going to basically spin. And I think if you appreciate proper driving, then this is a car for you, 100%. This car does have like the competitors such as the Ariel Atom, Caterham 620R, bits like that, and I haven't driven any of them, I'll be honest. I'd like to, just to compare, but I like the fact you've got a roof, you can do normal daily driving with it, You can go long distances and it doesn't feel like a chore. If it rains, you're not going to get soaked. I think it's that nice mixture of having that track spec, but also having that ability to be driven normally and have that normal person drive it as well. So back home safe and sound, cars in one piece, which is always good. So to conclude the Lotus Exige review, I think it's a really, really good car to drive. It's really rewarding, it's challenging, and it's really driver's focused. The modifications that have been put on the car have just made it even better, and I will comment the owner's Instagram link down below just in case you want to know where anything is from. But I'd 100% have one of these. I mean, it's such a pleasure to drive, and I'm very fortunate that I do get to drive this one every now and again, and I cannot wait to get it on track to see what it can do, because this car is so track focused. It's just going to be in a world of its own. But would I sell my Elise for it? That's something you're going to have to wait to find out, because I am doing a comparison of this car and my Elise, which is very exciting. So you guys know what to do. If you want to make sure you check out that video, tap subscribe and turn the notifications on, and that will pop up when it comes up very soon. But in the meantime, to make my journey your journey, like, follow and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!